Alrighty, what is up, everyone? I know it's been just a little bit of a hiatus, but welcome all of you guys. Oh, nope, I could talk about a hiatus. I've already had technical difficulties. Alright, well, anyways, without that little hiccup there, as most of you guys have known, there's a little bit of a 7 Remake update. And by a little bit, I mean quite a bit, apparently. I haven't actually looked too much into it, and that does say a little bit about my hype, to be honest. I'm going to for sure go ahead and tell you guys more about that later. I'm going to give you my thoughts on all this. So tonight, I will be going over the new updates that have been given about, such as the new screenshots, renders, etc. And I will also be going over the opening movie, the full opening movie, which I guess the 7 Remake official Twitter put up, I think, a few days ago. I think actually on Valentine's Day. And I'll go ahead and be reacting to that too, as I haven't seen that in full. I know I said a little bit of thing about hype at the very beginning, and like I said, I'm going to get to that a little later on, but without further ado, let us go ahead and go into this. We're only a couple months out before the launch of the highly anticipated 7 Remake. Square has done a lot of revealing with new screenshots and information. Alright, so here we have our in-game render of Mr. Red 13. Looks pretty good there. We also have our actual render, and as you can see here, they actually use the low-res render. I don't understand why they would do this. Perhaps maybe a mistake on the actual marketing team. Regardless, it still looks good. It's just they use the low render with the high-resolution background. The long-awaited Red 13 was reintroduced to us not long ago with the recent trailer. He's been captured by a... Yeah, we already know that. Here we go with Hojo's in-game render. We got that from the trailer already. As well as his official render. The mad scientist of Shinra's science division. He creates various biological weapons, other abominations, and has no concept of morality. Alright. Tifa Battle Basics. She is one of the main characters. She has her own unique fighting style along with everyone else. Her standards attacks with square unleash a fury martial arts prowess against her opponents. Her special ability on triangle can be strengthened in 3 stages, which are the whirling uppercut, the Omni Strike, and rise and fall. God, I wish that were me. Looks like a palm strike there at the end. She strikes with a flurry of kicks and finishes it off with a palm strike. Right. Like with all other characters, when her ATB is filled, she uses special abilities. Tifa attacks the enemy with the swift strike, which is true strike, and then heel drop, she kicks once again. Wish that were me. Materia. It wouldn't be Final Fantasy VII without materia. There are various kinds of materia you can slot into your weapons, which are grouped into different types. You can see the slotted materia equipped in your weapons while you move around in the game. That part's really cool. This is probably the nicest touch that I've seen. A little bit of attention to detail. You can see the color change. Like if you have a summon materia in, I'm assuming it'd be red, and you know, magic materia would be green. Kind of cool. Healing materia lets you use Cure and Cura, as kind of seen here. Looks like it's at the train graveyard. I don't... What is that? Independent materia. Oh, she can use regen. That's really early on. Independent materia such as Deathly Dodge will turn any attack after evasion to a powerful wide-range attack. Any character can use it. So there's new independent materia. I kind of like that. That's a good touch. The motion blur on the weapon looks fantastic there. Weapons. Equipped weapons are reflected in and out of battle to see which weapon your character has equipped. Below is an image of Cloud using the iconic joke weapon, Nailbat. Hey, the Nailbat is no joke. There is no joke with that. Thing is one of the hardest hitting stats in the original game. Doesn't have a materia slot, but the thing's absolute hammer. Mercenary quests. Alright, so this is new. Chadley's Report, Rat Problem, Nuisance in the Factory, Chapter 3, Home Sweet Slum. So I'm guessing that these little circles are for the stages, and there's like, let's say 5 times, 5, 6 things to a quest, and then those are 6 quests per chapter, which I guess sounds about right. 3 months subbed already, though. That's crazy. I can't believe it's already been that. Thank you again. As Cloud is known as being a mercenary, I thought he was a rookie. People around Midgar will ask him for his help in forms of quests. These range from finding monsters or finding lost cats. Lost cats? That's a really good screenshot there. That's awesome. that I seriously can't. That's a really really cool screenshot. I like that a lot. There is fighting a lizard known as a drake. I'm assuming this is where you turn in. Once again, slums look fantastic. Um, that could very much be one of the new independent materials. And here it is. You just go ahead and turn it in. You get gil, HP, MP, and hopefully XP. Rewards obtained for completing a quest. So we got, once again, a little bit more of a look. Looks like the slums are arming themselves with weapons now. All three of them do. This is a young 15-year-old boy named Chadley who's a research trainee who works under Hojo. Nice. I'm certain that nothing bad will happen. There's another new character. He can be found in the Sector 7 slums where he researches a new type of materia. By helping him out, he develop and sell materia for the team. Wonder if that's like a, if he sells them for the team, I wonder if he, like, it's kind of like a, micro, I can't even think of the word off the top of my head. I'm going crazy. Whatever, where you build something up and it gets revenue for you. Micro something, micromanagement, whatever. We'll use it at that. Here's a monster bio. And you get an auto cure materia. Interesting. This is called a battle report. Battle report quests will request you to complete certain tasks using access materia, which I'm assuming is the new Libra, which is a certain number of times or defeating enemies in a specific manner. Completing these assignments will allow Chadley to develop more materia, which you can purchase from him. Maybe it's not a micromanagement. Summons are a staple of Final Fantasy and are a power type of materia in Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Equipping one allows you to summon forth a special ally. Here we have the Chocobo Chick's new render. It has a big noggin and it looks a little scary. And here we have it in action. This looks pretty early on considering his HP. Chocobo Chick is cute, but a powerful summon with big hair who will assault your foes with powerful attacks. It's available when you pre-order any edition. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be getting that one. Here's a new Carbuncle render. It's probably the worst one I've ever seen. There was a few Carbuncles that I thought were really weird because they look very elongated. But this is, why didn't they just use the 15 render? This looks terrifying. I give, like, this is like an F rating. I get like the Chocobo Chick at least like a B minus. And there's Ruby Light, which they better not change that. And finally, Carbuncle is a mystical creature with a ruby on its noggin. It gives you power to your allies with its shining gem. Prior to the digital deluxe edition. And Cactar, this model looks great. This is exactly how I would expect they would do. They just kind of upped it up. And using 1,000 needles there against a hedgehog pie. Cactar, known all around the world by FF fans, of course, makes his debut with the signature Needles attack. You can get him when you pre-order the deluxe edition. So I think I get all three of these then. Cool. Oh wait, no. Oh, the Carbuncle is only from the digital deluxe edition. Looks like we're going to be unfortunately missing out on that. Oh no. Environments. 7 Remake reimagines iconic Midgar locations that you're familiar with, but also expands it on by introducing new areas that were not in the original. A Mako reactor which soaks up Mako from the core of the planet. The Shinra Electric Power Company turns this energy into power to fuel the massive city as well as scientific research and materia production. Yeah, the Cactar plushie, they better do something like that. And finally, the Corkscrew Tunnel connects the streets of the slums beneath the Rotten Pizza. I like how they still use that reference. The tunnel coils upwards to the center of Midgar. The transit system is where the trains run on their trails. Cool. Looks like this is going to be a little bit more explored. I know it's like when you do the second bombing reactor, that's the only time that you really go under in these. Any comments? Yeah, they weren't even trying. It's with the Carbuncle design. Galaxy Brain Carbuncle. There are side quests and exploration now. Yeah. Alright, so that is that for their update for February. But of course on Valentine's Day they also gave us the opening movie. Like I said, I haven't seen it in full yet. This will be my first time actually doing so. So let's go ahead and jump on that. Go ahead and turn that off. Come right over here. Might as well turn that down too. Alright, let's go ahead and react over to this. The full intro for the game. I'm expecting 45 seconds of stars. I'm going to go ahead and start it over again. If it's still too quiet, let me know. Birdie. This is like the outskirts of Midgar. Yep. I called it. For those of you that have played Crisis Core, certain... Hello, One-Winged Angel. This is a little haunting. Very unnerving. This is like the original E3 trailer. This is above the... No. This is building Midgar's plate. Because there is no plate above, and this isn't the upper plate. I'm assuming. There's no way this is the upper plate. That's that girl from the original trailer. Yeah, this is in the past. Because it's the playground. Soccer exists in the 7 world? I'm all for it. Hopefully Brazil still got 7-1. There's Mako Reactor 1. There's our stars. Oh, I guess that's it. We didn't get our minute-long stars. They've changed up her face quite a bit from the original, what they showed us at the orchestra trailer. Cloud is stoked about Lazio today, beating Inter. Absolutely right. Once again starts playing with One-Winged Angel. She looks terrified. This is very much not like the original, where she just kind of vibes and walks. Not the flowers. Oh, based. He wants the childhood friend route for Cloud. He knows it. Where are you, Loveless and Goblin Bar? There's Loveless. Oh. Can't see Goblin Bar. First we got Mako Reactor 1. We got the famous zoom out. The iconic logo cut. They got Cloud riding on top this time. It's similar to the Crisis Core post-epilogue scene. We're gonna hear a little bit of bombing mission officially. We are.
Get down here, Merc.
Calls him Merc now instead of newcomer. I love the crescendo there when he jumps off. That's pretty sick. All right. We are not going to be watching that. Um, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Um, Watch the full Final Fantasy VII Remake opening movie here right ahead of the worldwide launch on April 10th. The planet's very life force is drained as Mako energy by the shadowy Shinra Electric Power Company. In the city of Midgar, a flower merchant gazes upwards as the train pulls into a station. So, let me go ahead and say this. There's a few things that I like and a few things that I don't. As I've constantly stated before, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time. I mean, like top two, right? Final Fantasy Tactics will forever be number one, without question. But it's up there. Like if I were to have a contention of any three games, Final Fantasy VII, the original is going to be right there at the top always. It would never drop below a top 5. I can guarantee you that. What I like so much about it is a lot of you guys know, especially when I play games, I really, really like the plot-driven things that happen between the protagonist and the antagonist. And as a result of which, I really like when antagonists are genius, have motives behind their stuff, and a lot of times I'll end up liking the antagonist more than the protagonist, and that will give me a reason to play the game. If I were to rate all the Final Fantasy or antagonists, I should say, based off of like genius level intellect, of course, Kuja is going to be number one. I don't think there's, in terms of mainline Final Fantasy, I do not think that there's a smarter villain than Kuja in the whole entire series. But once again, if you're looking at like top 5, Sephiroth is up there. And the reason why I like Final Fantasy VII so much in the original game is because of that secrecy of Sephiroth. When you first see Sephiroth, it's actually in a flashback. And I don't want to spoil anything because I actually haven't streamed Final Fantasy VII yet. But, well, first off, I want to let you guys know that's coming. But he does something at the end of the Midgar portion of the game where it's just like, what am I, who is this guy? You know, and like I said, I'm going to try and do my best without spoiling here, but when you first hear his name, it's at the very beginning of the game when you have the flashback scene with Tifa, and Cloud says what he says at the start of this, in which he says, like, I'm going to become the best like Sephiroth, blah, 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 blah. Well, the whole thing is, you don't actually, and you hear his name. President Shinra also says his name later on when you go ahead and see him at the second bombing of whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. And he says, you know, I don't remember soldiers unless they become like another Sephiroth, something along those lines. So you hear this guy's name, right? You hear this guy's name, and you think that the whole first part of Midgar, you're just going to be fighting against Shinra. Well, when the whole big spoiler thing happens at the end of, you know, the Midgar portion of the game, and you realize, holy fork, Shinra is nothing to this guy named Sephiroth, you know? Who is this guy? So you escape from Midgar, you go into Calm, and you have the flashback scene, which is, that alone may be my favorite moment in gaming in my life. When I first played that when I was a wee lad, I literally lost my mind, you guys. I cannot say that enough. It was amazing. It was spectacular. My mind was blown. I thought I had seen the pinnacle of gaming, and I was like 9 years old. And to this day, that like 2-hour-long period of time from entering the Shinra Tower to the Calm flashback is one of my favorite things in gaming. And I don't know if that will ever be touched, honestly. It was just spectacular. And the reason why was because like I said, I've always really liked antagonists when I was a kid because I liked what they bring to the plot. Sephiroth has some genius level intellect, and he's absolutely scheming the whole time. And that's amazing, right? Like, the whole drive between him and Cloud is amazing. Especially if you played Crisis Core, you know a little bit more of, you know, of the conflict between the two. But what they're doing now is, and like I said, you don't see Sephiroth until the Nibelheim flashback, okay, which takes place in Calm after this whole entire thing. The first time you see Sephiroth in the flesh, I'm talking present day, present time, Sephiroth is standing in front of you, is at Costa del Sol, which doesn't happen for like another 4 or 5 hours after that. What I'm trying to say is, they opened up this game with One-Winged Angel, as you guys heard in the opening. And as much as I don't like it, it made it really much feel very ominous. It made it feel unnerving. The original opening of the game is like, okay, it's cool. There's stars, and then it zooms out to Aerith, and she's vibing as she walks down with her flower basket. In this, makes like she's running away from something, and with One Winged Angel in the background, you feel a sense of unnerve. That's not necessarily a bad thing, and honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But the only thing I could worry about is if this game has too much Sephiroth. And here's my reasoning. Like I said, in the original game, I absolutely loved the fact that Sephiroth was so mysterious. You go through the whole entire first part of this game, which, can take you anywhere from like 4 to 10 hours, whatever, fluctuates, and you have no idea who this guy is. And then when the whole Shinra Tower thing happens, you're like, your mind is blown. And then you go into the calm flashback, and you're like, oh my god, the plot of this game is so deep. They're throwing him in now very, very early. Like, this whole scene isn't even in the original. I don't even know where this takes place at. And I don't know. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, honestly. I'm going to have to wait till I actually play it because I love the original so much. And I know, like, the common argument is like, oh, if you love the original so much, you could always just go play that. And while that's true, this is definitely a remake, reimagining, and not a one-to-one scale thing, which, like I said, it really depends on how they do. I could have speculation all I want, but at the end of the day, it could be all my questions are going to be answered, and them playing One Winged Angel at the very start is just going to be nothing to me later on, and I'm going to be so hyped. I'm like, that was awesome. That was the coolest thing ever. This is the best game I've ever played. I don't even care that they, had Sephiroth in for quite a bit of it, and they put him in a lot earlier than the original. Or I could just turn around and be like, this was, this was just not. I didn't like the changes that they make. And I know a lot of you guys have known since the start. Like I've covered the 7 remake for one of the very first things I did on my channel, and I've always been really, really hyped. But I've just been talking with a lot of people on different like forums and stuff like that, and I've realized now, like I'm really starting to lose faith. I'm gonna be really blackpilled here, but really Square's last games that have come out, I just have not really. Final Fantasy 15 wasn't bad by any means, but like Kingdom Hearts 3 was just a disaster class in my opinion. And I don't really think that's even an opinion at this point. It was no one really liked that game from what I've talked to from reviews. And save the battle director, who is one of my favorite battle directors of all time, Kingdom Hearts 2 and Dissidia Duodecim. Um, quite a bit of the squad from Kingdom Hearts is at least kind of working on this project. Not necessarily all, but some. And Square hasn't really been putting out insane games as of late. Like, of course, I really liked Shadowbringers. I thought that was going to be a flop, and I had no hype for Shadowbringers. Now that Shadowbringers is here, it's amazing. I love 14. I love Shadowbringers, but I definitely was not hyped for it at all, and it blew me away. Kingdom Hearts 3 I was hyped for, especially towards like the final week going into it, and it just my heart was crushed. My heart was absolutely crushed. Final Fantasy 7 Remake I've been hyped for since the original E3 trailer back in like, geez, so it was the summer of my sophomore year of high school, so like 2015. Yeah, it was 2015 was that original trailer, and I was hyped since then, like dreaming about playing the 7 remake. But now that it's getting closer, I'm getting a lot more worried, and that's kind of foreboding. Like it's this kind of foreboding feeling. Like, what if they really mess this up? I don't know what I'm going to think about all the plot changes. Like I said, no one's going to know what they think until it actually happens. But as always, I'm going to go ahead and provide my honest opinion. I'm not going to go ahead and like shill out or do anything like that. Like if I do not like the game, you guys will probably be able to hear my distaste when I stream it. But I don't know. I've just very much had this foreboding feeling as of late where I'm not liking some of the changes, and I'm just worried. My hype, my hype and my drive for this game has turned into fear and worry, and I don't know if that's good. And it has been ever since the delay. Something about that delay, you guys. I'm telling you, I think there's a lot more to the story, and I don't know. I think there's something else going on for sure, though. because every Square Enix game was delayed. Marvel was delayed. This was delayed. Um, there was one other game like the Babylon Fall or whatever. I think is made by them. It could be wrong, but that was delayed too. They've been delaying a lot of games as of late, and I think it has to do with the internal structure, and that worries me, you know. And right, right, and I don't want them to cut anything. But you're right. It's usually never a good sign. You're 100% correct, man. It's never a good sign when they go ahead and have a delay ever. And when they go ahead and they do that, like people are saying, oh, you know, they just want to go ahead and play with what they got. But people don't realize like a month for a game like this is nothing in terms of a delay. Like Cyberpunk's like 6, 7 month delay or whatever they did. That's about what I would expect with a delay. This month long delay means that there is something else, and like I'm worried. And I don't know. I maybe I'm still a little bit salty over the fact that it's getting delayed. Like I just really wanted to play it, but I don't know. I'm really worried about this game now, and I haven't said those words in the past 5 years. So we'll see what happens with it. We'll see if how I liked it, the changes and everything like that. And you know, I don't know if they're going to give us a March update. So it could very much be this could be our last 7 update that they give us. I know that every month they give us an update, and I've been pretty adamant on doing that. But even though, as you guys can tell, I'm like 4 days late to this one. My hype is a little bit out the window at this point. Which I guess best thing I could do is go into low expectations and hopefully it blows me away, just like Shadowbringers did, or you know my low expectations will be answered, which is probably my biggest fear. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Obviously, as you could tell just from the opening scene, there's going to be a lot of plot changes. Whether it's the add of that the Roche guy or Chadley, who I guess is Hojo's assistant. I don't understand as to why he would be working with Avalanche, but anyways, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see with what the changes. We'll see if they release any other trailer. I don't even know. This game should probably have gone golden. If they don't go golden by like March 10th, I'm gonna be a little bit worried because games usually go golden about 3 to 4 weeks before their launch, and I don't know. I thought we'd be getting some news about it, like the game's 98% done. We're just in the beta testing stage now, or whatever else. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm still gonna pre-order this game. I'm still gonna play it. I'm gonna stream everything. You guys will get all the reactions to it, and we're still gonna play the original 7. Of course, that's absolutely no joke, and we're gonna be focusing on Summer Pockets and everything tonight as well. But until then, this may be our last 7 Remake update, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. I know I've been covering this, and I'm not as big named as the other 7 Remake YouTubers, and I just want to say I appreciate all the support, you guys, because things have been going really well, and um, it means a lot to me, all of you guys' support, and since this may be the last little 7 Direct, 7 info dump, whatever you want to call it, I just want to say thank you again for everything, and here's to hopefully a not letdown. If there's any demo news or anything like that, because they've been radio silent on that as well, I'll try and be the first to report it this time and get my reactions up to the gameplay. See if there's any even plot changes in the opening bombing mission, because I heard that's what the demo's of. And yeah, I guess that'll do it for the 7 Remake portion of tonight. If you guys want to stick around for Summer Pockets, feel free to do so. But once again, I just want to say thank you again for everything, you guys, over these past few months. Actually, about this past year now we're upcoming with, because I started doing the 7 Remake stream since the night I went to the orchestra in June, and they gave me the release date. So thank you again, and we'll see you maybe next month, and hopefully I'll get my hands on the demo and we could talk about that. Alright, you guys have a nice night, and I'll see you back here again.